Hello, Cherries. Welcome to live, live Cherries Sunday, episode 155. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate my YouTube LIVE Pedalboard Setup. So, here's what it looks like right here. Here's the cam angle. Hello. Just want to say hello to some of my friends here in the chat real quick. Give you a round of applause. So got it all set up, ready to go here. And hopefully you can see all that. Paul Merrow, you got some chords going? All right, give you a round of applause. Osman, give you a round of applause. Give you all a round of applause. Scott Olson. Let's see. All right, morning, Jer. Morning, all. Very cool, Osman. As a matter of fact, Osman, it was his idea for this video here today. Demonstrate the pedal board that I use for my live here every Sunday. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. So thank you very much, Osman, for the idea. And let's see. So catch up here on some of the chat, what I'm missing here. Yeah. I got my Guitar Gavel shirt on here today. I needed something guitar-wise. I'm looking through my shirt drawer, and I'm like, what's guitarish today for some guitaring? And hello, looking for Crossroads. Good to see you. Daredevil. All right, what's happening? Get ready for some Steelers today at 1 o'clock. Paul Merrow. So good to see you. All right, my pleasure, Osman. So without further ado, let's go back over here to the Cam 2. You can still see me up here. This is pretty much what I look at when I'm doing my live pedalboard stream, except for the Iridium, the Strymon Iridium that I just turned around a little bit. Usually it's just facing up this way. I was able to move my middle camera over and then show you that, because that's a pretty important piece of the puzzle. Right here. So, oh, I should have put this one in there too. This is I use this for the tap, which I'll get to in a second. So, yeah, basically it's, we got clean guitar going right through here. Jeffrey Boyle, so good to see you. We got my Les Paul playing clean. Pickup sound, some bridge pickup. Obviously, it's brighter. That's how I always test it. Make sure I'm not really overloading the system here. So ultimately, this whole thing is going right into my computer, the setup. And thank you, Scott Olson. I'm loving the exposure. Guitar Gavel. All right. And, you know, this guitar, it's basically going right into the computer. I'm not using an amp. The Strymon is the amplifier. Right now it's set on like a blues, you know, it's like a blues deluxe type of sound. You could switch through different presets on that thing. I have it set to just a clean sound right now, because it allows me to plug stuff in right directly to my computer. You know, without it, it wouldn't sound really good at all. It's a modeler. Hello, Pekka Blues. Good to see you. And it's an amp modeler. I mean, I could put distortion on that thing as well and have all kinds of, you know, cool sounds with that too. Like for instance, if I didn't have this clean sound like this, I could switch through this and kick on kind of crunch sound. And I kick up the gain. back to my clean. Yeah, go back to my clean sound like that. So it's basically it's an amp modeler. Gives me lots of different sounds, and I just quickly did that. And you could have a favorite button right here. You tap that button right there to the left of it, and it's a favorite, so you could choose one that you could store it in there, and you could switch back and forth between two different sounds. But it's a slight problem. I used that by itself once live, and I set the favorite to a dirty sound, and when you kick it off, you have your clean sound, but it wasn't instantaneous. So if I'm playing a clean, I kick into a dirty, and it took like a couple of milliseconds longer, which is a problem. You need that instantaneous switch. Someone mentioned to me that maybe if I update the firmware in there that would solve that problem, but I never did that. But when I use it for this live, I just leave it on a clean anyway, and I use my pedals to switch stuff. Looking for crossroads. What kind of interface to use? Okay, so that's really the next thing. All this stuff is going right into a computer interface, which interfaces this stuff along with the computer. Essentially transfers it from analog to digital. And I'm using the Apollo Twin by Universal Audio. And it's right there. You can't see it, but it's all this stuff is basically, it's going straight out of that Strymon right there. See, one of those cables is the input from the pedal. The output is going right into the Apollo Twin. And now the Apollo Twin's cool because you could open up a program, the console on the computer, and you have like, it looks like a console. It has all the channels for the inputs, which my microphone's going through, and the Apollo Twin. It's all going right into the Apollo Twin. So you could see it, the console, and has, mine has it's just two inputs. But on each input, you have a, plugins you could have for it. So as far as my microphone, I have a plug-in on there, which is like a regular mic preamp. The guitar input is going into there, and I have, basically it's a mic preamp as well. And it's pretty cool because it's like, they call it unison technology, and it allows it the impedance to match properly so it sounds good. So that's cool. And I have a little reverb on there as well. That's where that reverb's coming from. If I turn that off, if I bypass it, it sounds like this. No, not like that. That was, here's the reverb right here. Real dry, huh? But I prefer to have the reverb on. How is that different from GarageBand? Well, I'm not sure it is any different than GarageBand. With GarageBand, I've never even, I think I used it once for like a minute. But GarageBand is, Garage, what do I call it? Guitar Man? We should come up with a new one, right? Call it Guitar Man. But GarageBand, it's basically the same thing as, actually, GarageBand is a DAW. I'm not using any DAW with this right now. But I think with GarageBand, it's the same principle where you need an interface to plug your guitar into the computer, but you're going into a GarageBand where that's a DAW, and you can record onto that. You can pull up sounds and things like that. When I record, I use Pro Tools. So I use this Universal Audio in conjunction with Pro Tools, and then Pro Tools is like GarageBand, where it has all the stuff. I mean, Pro Tools. Do anything. You could fly a plane with Pro Tools, right? So, are these pedals you're giving away for Christmas? Yes, actually, to the 10th person that says, Cherry, you rock. No, just kidding. But I do have, if you're interested in any of these pedals, I have links in the description that go right to Amazon So you can check that out. And any digital pedals? Well, really, the Iridium, the Strymon Iridium, is a digital pedal. That's an amp modeler. So that's basically the sound right here. That's what you're hearing. That is the digital modeler sound. But what's cool about this is that you can plug in pedals to it, which all these pedals are plugged right into the Strymon Iridium. The amp sound is the Strymon. Yeah. All the Strymon amps right now. I mean, I could bypass this Strymon and use one of the plugins on my Apollo Twin. It has tons of great sounding plugins on it. And when I first started going live, I would use just the plugins, but for some reason it didn't really translate too well doing live, and I couldn't switch between clean and dirty. So if I had a clean sound on and I used my pedals, it didn't really sound as good. Like if I turn, check this out. Here's a pedal, the Nobels distortion box right here. It sounds pretty good through there. If I turn this off, here's the guitar clean going right into it. If I kick on the distortion box, it sounds like you're plugging your guitar directly into a sound system, a distortion box into a sound system. And that's not good. Here's the difference. So very important and necessary. And yeah, so this basically, it's like an amplifier. So it allows me to plug your pedals into it, and so that when it goes into the computer, it sounds normal. Whereas you just heard what it sounds like if I didn't have that on. It does something, I don't know how it does it, but it matches the impedance properly into that when it digitizes the sound before it goes into the computer. So it processes all these pedals just like an amplifier would. Yeah, big difference in there. So yeah, if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. We're going to get into some of these sounds here in a second. But first I want to say hello. You drinking some coffee? What are you drinking? I know Paul's drinking Coors because it's beer o'clock somewhere. I still have my coffee, and I'll tell you what, it's not good to the last drop. Yeah. So in my opinion, this is the best order for the pedals as well. Because what I have here is just a clean guitar. Guitar. Then I have my tuner, which is the first thing I'm plugged into, and I can bypass it. Now this tuner is cool too, because what I have here is a Peterson strobe tuner, and it's a StroboStomp LE guitar tuner. And I like it because it has really big letters right there. You could see very, very easy. Pekka Blues got beer time in Sweden. So I like the big letters. I was using the Boss chromatic one, and I love that thing. It's really cool, but there's no letters. It's really small letters on it. And with this thing, the strobe tuner is the most accurate tuners you can get. So it just kind of goes to the left and the right. Right now, if it goes to the left, so it's a little flat. It goes to the right, it's sharp. You want it to sit somewhere in the middle. And right now, it seems like I'm kind of in tune. my E right there. It's, no tuner is exactly perfect, but it gets you really close. You want it to kind of hang out there somewhere in the middle. I can see they're all going a little bit flat, but once it starts turning to the right and going sharp, I know that it's too much. So this one's pretty good. Close enough for rock and roll, right? And so then I got the tuner, and then I'm going to this Hotone blues drive right here. This one. And I like it because it's it's got like a slight breakup on it. Now, check this out. I like to use it like just kind of really, I back off on the gain, and gives me a really good So it's really, really transparent, meaning that, excuse me, it doesn't really affect the sound, the overall tone of the amp too much, but just breaks up. Which is really good for like slightly clean and broken up. Like without it, you got your clean. With it. As opposed to something like a full-on distortion. You know what I mean? Got the in-between thing. Hello, Ritesh. So good to see you. Scott Olson. You have the same Peterson. You know what's funny about this pedal? I paid $50 more for that than I really should have. It was $150. Really, you don't need that one. This is an anniversary model. It's a gold plated, not real gold, but it's an anniversary model. I think it was a 100-year Peterson. For $100, you just get the regular one, the non-anniversary, which is the same exact pedal. But they didn't have it in the store, and I was going on a tour, and you know how guitar players are. You got to have it. So I was like, and I bought it. So it really, you don't need this one. Get the regular one, $100. It's a really, really good investment. And it has like this thing in it called like a sweetener in there as well, which is pretty cool. So you have like different guitar, you have different modes. It's like, you know, it's guitar, bass. This is set up as a guitar sweetener, which it's kind of a long story, but it'll take the strings and it'll tune it in a where it's relative to the guitar itself, as opposed to just individual strings being in perfect tune. It's like tempered, I guess, in a way, you know, where it's not just tuning. If I had it off, it would be just tuning to perfect, you know, 440 relative to the A, but maybe the strings don't sound as good altogether, where it compensates for the pitches throughout the neck. But it's pretty cool. So it has all kinds of tuning sweeteners in there and stuff like that, but it's pretty good. Good tuner. But like I said, I bought it primarily because of the big letters. You know, when you're on stage and it's dark out and everything, it's nice to be able to hit an E and go, okay, I could see that. But now I use my digital guitar wireless that has that tuner similar to that built in with the big letters. So I just leave this on my pedal board at home. Now, this pedal board I don't take anywhere. It stays right here in my house. You know, I'll take these two pedals on the road with me and put it on a smaller pedal board. The blue one and the green one right there, the Nobels and the distortions, and that Strymon I take with me, and my wireless, and that's it. So, what do we got? Some questions here. And Peterson, pedals used by Slash. What pedal is used by? I don't know what Slash uses in pedals. I know he uses like those Slash amps that are Jubilee reissues. Guitars with the Floyd Rose. Yeah, I have a Hamer as a Floyd Rose. It's not an expensive Hamer. It's pretty cheap but it works really good. And I think it's not even like a real Floyd Rose. Probably it's got to be one of the copy ones, but it works great. As a matter of fact, I'll be breaking that out really soon to do a solo in a new song that I'm in the middle of recording. It's got a whammy part in the lead. Does a noise gate reduce the sloppiness while playing? What are you trying to say? I do have, check this out. I have a noise gate built into one of the plugins. Like watch, if here's some noise. If I had a lot of gain, I don't even really have a lot of gain, but like here's the most gain right now that I have on this setup. You hear a little bit of that buzz? I think if I turn on this noise gate, actually I don't have it in the loop right now, a noise gate, but it's a good thing to have. You know, if you're using a lot of gain, sure, use a good noise gate. But you got to set it to where it doesn't really cut off. That's why I don't really like those too much, because sometimes, you know, though, when you're playing, you'll just hear like a little bit of the noise as you're moving your hand around, and it cuts in and out. It sounds kind of processed sounding. So if you could just find a fine balance between the cutoff points, that's important with those. And the amp that this is modeling right now, in that Strymon Iridium, it's a Blues Deluxe. So it's kind of representing a Blues Deluxe. You know, it also has it's pretty cool. Like I said, if you're interested in any of these pedals, I have links right in the description. Not a lot of links. I narrowed them down to just the links for these pedals, and it takes you right to Amazon. And you know, if you do, it's affiliate thing. If you pick up one of the pedals, I'll wind up getting like a couple bucks for it, which is really cool. And it's no extra charge. I mean, it's the normal price that you would pay for the stuff anyway. But because I sent you there, and it's pretty cool, and it helps me out a little bit. But this Iridium, if I put on this, it has 3 amps. It's got this Blues Deluxe. It's got the Marshall type thing that I already played, and it has another one. It's a Vox AC30. Sounds like this. A little more chimey sounding, kind of. nice little chimey sound. And with the distortions, cool with the Vox sound. I break my back bending over to that one. That's the far one. But I like the for this. I like the Vox. I'm not the Fender one. It's a little bit more straightforward, clean, punchy, versatile for pedals and stuff. So, let's see. Where do you use the wah? Where's the wah you use in Sweet Child of Mine? That's on my back there. All those pedals. You can't really see that, but if you're up here, you'll see that on that shelf I have back there, right below the books. That whole thing going that way. Those are all pedals. And the wah-wah's in there. You know, I bought that wah-wah just to do that solo, and then I put it back on the shelf, and that was the last time I ever used it. Same thing with my my Eddie Van Halen Phase 90 pedal. I knew I was doing Eruption. It's like I can't do Eruption without a Phase 90, so I bought the Phase 90 pedal, did the Eruption video, and then I put that on the shelf too, and that was the last. But I will break it out at some point. Also, the wah-wah's cool, and the Phase 90 is really cool. I think I might have. No, I didn't use that. I was gonna say maybe on the Bark at the Moon solo, but I think I did that without it, and I put a little bit of chorus on it at the end. I think because it was definitely wet, and yeah, the sweetening, tuning. You know, Eddie Van Halen apparently didn't even use a tuner. But his sweetening came from, you know, his ears. Tuning. He would tune within the guitar as well. And I think that's pretty much what it does, the sweeteners. It just, you know, tunes within the chords and stuff. And it's pretty cool. I haven't really gotten too deep into it. All the different sweetener functions and how it really works and how it affects the strings. But it's really cool. And, but, you know, it's, you know, with all the different guitars and stuff, it really makes a difference, you know, what the pedalboard does and what it sounds like. I use my Strat and those single coil pickups, you know, along with this clean sound. It's much more versatile. Gives you that quacky sound to fit my personality, my quacky personality. And it's a Shaler Ferders. No, it actually is a Floyd Rose on my Hamer, not a Shaler. But I've played the Shalers too. That's interesting. And yeah, video on the amp settings. That would be definitely cool. Get a little bit more narrow in on that. Definitely a good idea. And do you mean my like real amp? Because I don't really play real amps in here in my apartment. But I did make a video on the Strymon Iridium. I did go really deep. It was a real video that I made. And I went through all of the 3 amps. And there's also 3 different cabinet simulators in there. So you have 3 amps, and each amp has 3 different cabinets, A, B, and C. And then, you know, you have reverb, a little bit of reverb on this thing. You have a full EQ, drive, and everything. So I did a full video on that. I'll put that link in the description for the Strymon Iridium video that I made. And just when I do a gig, no amp on stage. Well, when I play in the ABBA tribute band that I'm going on tour with in January, the full month of January, and what I use is no amp. No one uses amps on the stage. It's just a live drummer. We all use in-ears, and I use these 2 pedals, the Nobels and the Blues Hotone, along with the Strymon Iridium. And I keep it just like that. Clean sound. It's like that. I kick on for, you know, distortion. Can't play the song exactly, but I will, because I'll get like copyright claims, right? But, you know, and then I'll use a lot of the in-between sounds. In between these two pedals, you got everything you need. In my opinion, you got clean, slightly distortion, and full on. And then what I'll do is I'll kick on both pedals. When I have this as a distortion, I'll kick on the blue Hotone as a slight overdrive over the Nobel. See what it does? It gives you that little bit of see without it. Here's without it. Here's with it. So definitely helps, gives you that extra little sustain that you need. You know, in my opinion, it's like, here's clean, here's like kicking on your Marshall amp. And then the blue pedal's like putting a distortion box right before the amp. What it's really like. So I have a little bit more gain. I turned up the gain, the overdrive on the blue pedal. So now by itself, if you use it as an overdrive on your dirty sound, you get a difference like this. More sustain. Like without it, it's harder to play hammer-ons and pull-offs. Like. With it. So, it's definitely a good pedal. Definitely. China Grove. I don't think I know that one. China Grove, but I didn't, you know. Yeah. So, we having a good time out here today. It's fun. If you are, hit that like button. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the good old channel. I go live every Sunday. I think I'm back to my normal schedule Sunday. Starting now and next week, next Sunday. So any ideas for videos, let me know in the comments section. This idea was brought to you by Ozman himself. Who's been asking for quite a while, and I haven't gotten to it yet. But today I was like, just gonna do it. Let's do it. And so yeah, looking for Crossroads. No amp. I'm pretty much doing what I was just saying. The delay is important too, and I love to bring that, but my pedal board just fits my wireless, which kind of looks like this. You know, it's a Shure GLX, I think. I just got it recently. So the guitar wireless would be here, then it goes into this pedal, then into this pedal, and then it goes into the Strymon pedal. And usually I don't wear sneakers on this. I was like, I don't really show I go barefoot when I do my lives, but today I did y'all a favor, and I put on a pair of shoes for this one. You don't want to see my feet in this. The things you have to do when you're going live, right? And then I go right into the Strymon, and that's it. And the Strymon goes right into a PA system. I bring a DI box with me. Actually, do I still bring that? Nah, when I'm playing good venues, they don't have it. I don't have to worry about that. But they bring out a DI box. I plug right into DI. It goes right into the PA system. It goes right into our in-ears. And pretty cool. It sounds good. As good as it could sound in in-ears system. So, no amps on stage, just that. Yep. Just the PA system then, right into the PA. How are the gigs? Well, which one? How did the gigs go? Which one? Well, last night I played with Disco Unlimited, and that's a different thing. I played my bass straight into my amp. And certain notes ring out better, more in tune with some chords with the sweetener. Yeah, it's got to be weird with the sweetener, because you know when one chord is perfectly in tune, a lot of times the other chord is not perfectly in tune, and that's the whole thing with the guitar and the temperament on it. You know, if you have this D chord, for instance, sounds in tune, right? But if you play an A here, the power chord part sounds right. But this third on the B string, it's sharp. So if I went, here's in tune. If I flatten that, then the D is going to be, the B string is going to be flat on this D chord. So Van Halen, when he played Running with the Devil, there he or however he played it, he tuned his B string a little bit flat to ring out. And my whole guitar's not even really in. Right, so like this tune with this chord right here, he would flatten the B string a little bit to compensate for that, which is really, really cool. And Paul Merrill, what program are you using on the computer? I'm using, all this stuff's going right into my Universal Audio Apollo interface. It's the Apollo Twin. It's a great unit. I've had it now for a number of years, and I've recorded an album with it. And that's going right into the computer. That is the program, essentially. The interface is the program. Now, if I was recording, I would use Pro Tools, and that's the DAW, the digital audio workstation that records everything. But right now I'm using no DAW. This is all just the guitar stuff. You're seeing, what you're seeing is what you're getting right here. The only thing you're not seeing is the Apollo Twin. It's a little box, and it's an interface, and it allows me to plug all this junk into the computer. And that's the program. You open it up, and it's a console. universal audio console, which is really cool. And it has my microphone, and it has the guitar stuff going in, and I can mix between the two. And then all of that's coming out of the interface. There's outputs on it that go right into the computer. But I have it set a little bit differently too, where I'm going out of that interface into another interface, which is going to another computer, which is what I'm streaming live on. So that's a whole nother thing. But because I have it split up, the video is on one computer and have the audio on another computer, and that allows you to put less stress on each computers. I've learned throughout the few years now. Actually, next week will be episode 156, 3 years. So I learned throughout the process that the more stress you put on the computer, the more possibility you have for lag and, frame rate drops and all that stuff. And, my first year, half the videos were like, I'd watch back and you just see me, lagging right now. Crazy, huh? So I hated that. So it took me the longest time to figure out how to, get a better live signal for you guys so that it wouldn't be painful to watch. Well, I'm not saying that it isn't painful right now, but less painful, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, they used to license the Floyd Rose from Shaler when I worked at Hamer. Oh, okay. Yeah, but mine's not a Shaler, but I remember the Shalers were completely different looking systems. They didn't look, there was always a Shaler. Unless you're thinking of Kaler. Unless I'm thinking of Kaler. Remember that one? Shaler is like the tuners, the Shaler tuners. And the locking systems, they have those locking system Shalers. Maybe I'm thinking of the old Kaler system. That was different. But maybe Shaler was the copy of the Floyd Rose. Yeah, good point. Good point there. Scott Olson. How much does a guitar change the volume? Well, let's see. All the way. But I don't really use it all that much. Like if you're on a distorted sound, really changes the sound dramatically. Starts to dull out a little bit. I think a lot of people switch the pots in their guitars to get around that effect, to where if they lower the volume, it doesn't change the sound at all. So in this case, the gain, you could tell, is lessening as I lower the volume. Some people like that a lot. Some people like it to where if they lower the volume, the gain doesn't lessen. And it's always going to lessen because you're putting less output into the pedal. I guess what I mean is the brightness, it will dull a little bit. I don't notice it as much. Maybe I have one of those good potentiators pots in there. It doesn't really dull it out. But some guitars, you lower the volume, and it also lowers the tone, and it gets duller sounding. And a lot of people switch out the pots so that when they lower the volume, it doesn't change the EQ of the guitar, which is pretty cool, I think. And yeah, Clapton-inspired riffs. Those Cream days. Boy, do I love those old Cream records. For sure. And yeah, so hopefully you're enjoying this so far. We're going to rock out for a little bit longer. It's about 1. And let's see. Here's an idea for a lesson. Please send me those lessons. Let me know in the comment section. I will get to it. Do you think a lesson on different tunings would be good? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. That'd be a good one. Or just a lesson on how to tune the guitar, which has always been a struggle, because it's not a perfect instrument at all, and it's just a matter of, you know, compensating is what it is. You know, you're compensating one for another, one tuning for another, you know, like you know, like open G. I don't really use a lot of open tunings or altered tunings there. I'm pretty much a standard tuning type of guy too. And the Shaler looked like a Floyd Rhodes, just stamped Shaler under the license of Floyd Rose. Yeah. Yeah, I am thinking of Kaler from before. You have a Kaler still on that? That's interesting. The way that they used to float on there too, right? They didn't float, they floated on the body of the bridge. Really cool. Any thoughts on high-strung Nashville tunings? Wow. It's pretty cool. You know, whenever you take a guitar and you change the tension of it, it's going to sound a lot different. And let's get some really cool sounds out of that as well, for sure. So going down to my tune, to the delay here, which is really, really cool. Kick that on. So I have a, it's the Boss DD7, and I have it set to where it's, where I like to just hit a quarter note, and I'll tap it in with this Boss FS5U pedal. So if I have like a tune that's like a, you know, this off, if I'm doing something where it's just a, like a, you can tap it into the rhythm. So now I have the tempo of the song. And I like to set it to where I have like this. You have your effect level, where I like to have the first one a little bit lower than the next signal, a little bit lower than the original signal. And then I like it to repeat maybe like 3 times, and that's where I turn up the feedback. So it rings out a few more times. But initially, the first one, I like to sometimes crank the effect level up so you really hear it. And then back off on the feedback. Like that. So if you're playing, you know, you really hear the effects. The solo, like. Really hear that effect in there. That's a little too much. So usually I'll just kind of kick it on like when it's on. You know, standard like that. Does the tap set delay time or the repeat? No, the tap is, let's see, the tap, just tempo. It doesn't really have anything to do with the repeat time. Like that's manual. Like here, the delay is off. The feedback, which is the repeats, is off. So it's just one. So if I want it to be slower, like a, so it's still slow. You know, just one. If I was to go faster, and the repeats are going to be whatever the tempo is of the effect. If it was slow. Yeah, we're going off the rails a little bit here. All right. Yeah, that's a tap set, just the delay, the repeat, just the delay time, tapping it in, which is really, really helpful. I mean, some people leave it on a certain delay and that's it, which is cool. I think Eddie Van Halen did that, just one delay that works for everything, which is cool. But I tend to, you know, when you're playing a lot of different songs, I like to tap it in and have it set for the song. I feel it really helps. And yeah, so any ideas for any videos, please let me know. And we'll move on a little bit. We've got a couple more pedals here to talk about. So now I have my loop station right here, which is really cool because I you know, changed my life to get a looper when I first started getting a looper. I mean, that is just like something else. Because you could, you know, and I have it set with this pedal. Actually, all three of these are like kind of tied in together. And I did make a video, a very extensive video on the RC5. Check that out. I'll put a link in the description. It's not in there yet, but I'll put it in there soon, today before I head out. And but it's a really easy pedal to use. You know, got drums and everything built in, which is really cool. To play with a looper and a drum rhythm will really help you with your timing and practicing solo ideas. Like, let's see. So right now, if I wanted to record something like just a shuffle, kind of like I'll just turn it on like this. I'll count to myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I already had something. So I'll stop it. I have this thing set up to where I use this to stop and erase everything with the looper. So I'll hit this pedal once to record. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's looping over and over. And I can solo right over it. We call that soloing. Really, really cool. And then when I stop it, I'll hit the top part of this, which makes it a lot easier. If you don't have this, then you have to like double click on that, and it's a real pain in the butt. So I totally recommend this. And in the video, I explained how to set it up and how to use all that. Now, one step further, I'll hold on the top button. It'll erase it. It'll turn it to a deeper blue right there when you know that there's nothing looped. Now, check this out. With this MIDI pedal here, I'm sorry, I just hit the wrong button on this thing. With this, I could switch between different scenes, because on the RC5 looper here, you have 99 scenes. And I could use this to switch between all of them. So I could record something different every one of these scenes. But we won't get too deep into that right now. But I do have, there's drums inside here, and I have this is a MIDI pedal. This disaster area MIDI pedal, it's called. And if I hold on this, it'll start my drums. Now, I can record a loop with this. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, start again. I'll stop it because I've messed up. 1, 2, whoa. Actually, it switched sounds to different. Okay, that was on 2. I switched to scene 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have a loop with some drums in it. So not only did it help me with my rhythm to be more in time, but when I solo now, I'm dead right on time because it's a drum machine, you know. So I have a little. I can click my delay tempo too, where it's. Practice all kinds of different stuff, different scales and stuff, pentatonic scale. Altered scales. All kinds of stuff. to stop it, I can hold on to this thing, stop the drums, stop the loop, stop it all. All right, so we had some fun. Did we have some fun today? If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want to do next week. We have the technology. We have the passion. We have the drive. That's what brings us here all together for Sundays. So, yeah, get ready to wrap up pretty soon. But let's see, any questions here? Let's see. The tap function is pretty important then. Yeah, I would say so. The tap function is really important for the delay. It's also important for this, because without this stuff, you could do it with this, but it's just a little bit harder. You know, it's just the ease that you have from this. And I forgot what I set B. A is stop the loop and erase the loop, and B is a tempo with the drums, I believe. Yeah, so if I hit on, check this out. I'll start a drum. Now, if I want it to be faster, I can just tap it a little bit faster. Check out, I just made it faster. If I want it slower, you could tap in, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's weird with the shuffle. But, oh, actually, I'm not even seeing it. Sorry about that. I basically tapped in that. And there's all kinds of drum beats inside here. There's the shuffle. Speed it up a little bit. You know, different kinds of stuff like that. You play along with that. Erase what was there. You know, give it like a... two, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can raise the loop level here too. We got like P. Townsend grooving over here. It's not stopping my loop though. Oh. Somehow I keep hitting this button. Keep hitting the wrong buttons. It happens when you got lots of buttons. When you got big feet. All right, guys. Thanks for spending some time here with me today. Very, very cool. Fun day. Fun video. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Scott. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Scott. But thank you, Ozman, for the idea for this. And, all right. Good ending for the show. Yeah. What are you trying to say? The looper pedal exploding. That's a great ending. Looper pedal. The lonely guitarist. Ah, you're right. So lonely. slowly. Fun, for sure. Later, Paul. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Really cool video. Keep those videos coming, ideas coming. Let me know in the comments section what your favorite guitar pedals are. You know, all kinds of stuff. And if remember, all this stuff, there's links for it. Check it out on Amazon. You could do some more research on it. You can see bigger pictures of them. You can pick one up if you like. You know, whatever's good for you. You know. And let's see, what else? I think if there's another video I could put up here for you to check out the video I made on the Strymon Iridium to hear all those sounds that I created with that. So thank you guys for hanging out. Remember, be cool, be kind, be cherry, and check out that other video I made on the Strymon Iridium. Have a great week. Love yous. And catch you guys next time. All right, Alan, all you guys are the best. Love yous. Peace.